Opening weekend for the Call of Duty League just came to an end, and it was very surprising. We got some really competitive, closely contested games with some upsets along the way, and it made for a really interesting weekend of COD, and it's just getting started. On day 3 of week 1, we have 4 matches, with the first one being LAG Mates versus Carolina Royal Ravens. Now, LAG Mates lost their first game to Minnesota Rocker. That game went to a map 5 round 11, and it really could have gone either way, but Rocker was able to clutch up and give Mates their first loss of the season. Carolina had a bit of an easier game playing against the Vegas Falcons in their first game, and they took care of business. So going into today, the teams were trying to set the tone early, and Ravens got off to a hot start on the Vault hardpoint. Gwyn has been keeping up with these Rookie of the Year performances, and it makes things easier when TJ Halley starts heating up as well.
From 3 to 4, have they learned and improved? Because Minnesota found some really easy breaks going to P4. TJ's working on the backside, opens up with 1, but there should be a trade for Lynn. Or will...
The Royal Ravens were able to win these rotations and bring the team to a 1-0 start. Usually in other games, Slasher was a slower AR, but in this game, we've seen him turning up a lot more, and he ended the map going 38 and 23. I mean, Kismet had a great series for the Mates, but the rest of the team struggled. Carolina getting off to a 1-0 lead. On Rewind, Search and Destroy, Carolina continued to set the tone. LAG Mates were only able to get 2 rounds off of them. For Ravens, Vivid struggled going 1 and 7, and the game could have played out much differently, but Lynn's missed this defuse.
But oh no!
That's so tough. That is so tough. It's like when there's a weapon at the bottom of a zip line, you're just picking it up every single time.
Carolina was looking to get that DoorDash, but LAG started showing some life in the Vault control. Every single control we've got in Vault. So next week, we'll see if we get a different map at least once. LAG got off to a great start, getting map control with Kismet and Lynn's, combining for 54 kills this map. I feel like in each game, it was really dependent on the SMGs to push the pace, and whoever did got the upper hand. In this map, it was Kismet and Lynn's, and they get a 3-1 victory on Vault. But Skyline Hardpoint was a different story. Slasher continued to pick up the pace, and Gwyn was right behind him. The duo carried this team. He ended the map 35 and 17, closing out the series 3-1 against LAG Mates. He had 11k damage and a 1.39 series KD, and they fly high going into week 2. For LAG Mates, it's a different story. They're trying to figure each other out, and we'll see if they can bounce back from this rough start. With the community reacting, we have Hydra at home roster. Also, I think Priest and Skies are just worse than they were when they won champs as well. Slasher been crazy in hardpoint so far. Still not fully sold on the team, but they look good so far. Oh boy, gentlemates. At least Kiz look good. Lynn's at 6k damage, and Brian's stats came through with a pretty depressing stat. Priesta falls to a 6 and 29 series record since winning champs in 2023, so they got a lot to prove going forward. But we move on to the second map of the day, with Miami Heretics taking on Vancouver Surge. Now, Miami played their first series against Vegas Falcons and won 3-0, with Rencor having a great rookie debut. And for Vancouver Surge, they played Toronto Ultra in their first game. It went to a map 5 round 11. Could have gone either way, but Ultra clutched up, and Surge are looking to bounce back against Miami. Miami set the tone early, getting off to a strong start with some high energy, and they pulled away towards the end of the map. Real was going off this game. He went 40 and 21 with a 1.9 KD to help lead Miami to the win. But the one thing in common between both of these teams is they're really solid search and destroy teams, and so we've seen some high level S&Ds in this series. Starting with the Rewind S&D, Vancouver has Abuza and 04 who are consistent playmakers, and the whole map was going back and forth. 04 made a great play to push the lead to 3-1.
Intel passed out. It's a messy one. He's managed to flush them back. Surge on the outside by the B-bomb site, waiting for those players to be pushed out.
And then now there's no needs for the retake for Heretics over on the site. And those players in Korea are just tagged up weak and so...
Miami bounced back to force a round 10. Rencor found himself in a 1v2 in the final round, and Vancouver Surge tied the series 1-1, with 04 going 11 and 6. Metals really struggled this game, but Vancouver got it done. The Vault controls have either been really close or just complete domination, and there's not much to say about this third map because Miami just got off to a great start and were dominating in these first 2 respawns. Rencor had himself another great game going 20 and 12, and Surge couldn't answer back. And the protocol hardpoint, Miami was trying to carry that momentum over, but Lucky was kind of holding the team back. In this game, he went 10 and 30, and I feel like Miami could have closed those gaps if he won some crucial gunfights. I mean, Miami wouldn't go away this map though, and we're continuing to close the gap, but they fell short going into these last few rotations with some major moments from 04 to close out the map.
Man in. Oh, he's been dealt with. 04 with another massive moment. Metals through spiral, climb the stairs, ascend it. Nasty in the tight corner. Nobody in the hard point just yet. He's going to check it. He does, but no, Nasty's there for the kill. Here comes Real. Can he make his way through the back door? No, he can't either. Surge, survive. Surge, hold, Surge. Force the game 5.
Winning their first respawn against Miami and forcing a game 5. Once again, this was a great map on the red card search and destroy. Rencor had himself another great map, and they were bouncing back and forth all the way up until the end. And just if we couldn't get any luckier, we got another game 5, round 11. Surge had offense and they pushed the bomb towards A to get the bomb down, and Lucky was out of the play at B, and then he tried to hit a flank with the bomb down, and things didn't work out with 0-4 making a clutch play with little time remaining, and they iced out the map to win the series 3-2. I mean, both teams have great S&D rosters, but 0-4 made massive plays and clutch for the team. But these teams have been put in the league on notice, the community reacting saying, I actually really like this Miami team. Real and Rencor are nuts. We are such an odd team. I wouldn't be surprised if we placed top 6 at champs like last year. You have Super, who is one of the best challenger players for multiple years. Then you have Lucky, who is very inconsistent. Take the chance already. He still needs his visa, but I have no doubt he's getting put into the roster as soon as he gets in the States. That round 11 play from Lucky was diabolical. Great match. Both teams look solid. The 0-4 Abuza and Real Rencor duos look like great pieces to build around. Another close series in the books, but it was a much different story for OpTic and Cloud9. OpTic started the weekend getting upset by Boston Breach on opening day, so they were definitely looking to bounce back against this Cloud9 squad, who has really been kind of iffy these last few days. They haven't found much success, especially in the respawns, and seem to be having some problems finding their roles on the map, and their struggles continued today. We started in the vault hardpoint, and Shotzzy came out swinging in this first game. They were just 2 steps ahead of Cloud9, and it's hard to do anything when Shotzzy has a 2.36 KD. Kenny was playing the hill, and Cloud9 just couldn't find any success, losing by over 100 points. OpTic go up 1-0, and going into the red card search and destroy, they continued that momentum. Shotzzy having a great performance against his team. Dashy showing why he's one of the best S&D players in the game.
He's got an angle on attach. Can he stop the plant? He also sees Sim, so he's going to get the read on it. There's the shutdown. Bomb doesn't get planted. 8 seconds. Sim, he has to make the move. Caught on the slide. Opening shots are good, and Dashy clutches the 1v2.
And OpTic go up 2-0, and then we get to the vault control, where OpTic had another dominant map. Pred started to push the pace as well against his former teammate Sib, and Cloud9 just looked confused on the map. Cloud9 did win 1 control round, and Shotzzy had an MVP performance against them. They just couldn't slow him down all series. He had a 1.87 with 7k damage and was the match MVP. And he even gave us a look at some IRL Omni movement. It was a great series from OpTic all around, but there was some drama about this series. Attach said before the series, and has been talking all weekend, in their LAT match, he said, been saying LAT is a problem, the best team in the game, so I'm not discrediting them. My issue is that there's 6 teams in Texas, and we don't have a fair server to play on at the moment. Hopefully the CDL can figure out a solution for the future matches. And before this match, he said, the CDL is making us play on a combined 140 ping for this match or forfeiting. We're deciding to play through it, and they ended up losing the match. Now, I don't know how much the ping would have played a role in them winning the series. I mean, maybe it could have changed the result for a couple maps. Regardless, it is unfortunate for Cloud9 because it's not fair if they're not playing on similar pings. Ping is obviously an issue, but my god, Cloud9 looked totally lost. They got some rough teamwork. Someone say, I bet it's hard to play the right way, when in the back of your mind, you think you're getting BS by the server. Cloud9 have zero clue what they're doing on the map. Such a weird roster construction. Shotzzy and Hydra were made for this game. So unfortunate for Cloud9, but we'll see if they can bounce back and get some more help with the servers. But in the final match of the day and final match of the weekend, we gotta look at some of the best teams in the game, with FaZe matching up against LAT. Now, FaZe got upset by Toronto Ultra in their first series, but now have their toughest matchup against the LAT super team. Now, this match goes a little deeper because we have the classic Draza and Scrap beef from last year. It got pretty personal, but Scrap is like 10-3 against Draza right now, and he got the last laugh last season, and so it continues. LAT beat Cloud9 in their first matchup of the weekend and looked to carry that momentum into the final match of opening weekend. And we started on a vault hardpoint in a very unusual game. Usually we see FaZe starting off dominating, but LAT had an unexpected dominant performance, and Hydra and Scrap picked apart the team, but Envoy hopping on the hill getting all the time. FaZe just looked so lost on this map and got a 100-point club by LAT. It's just like they couldn't win a single gunfight, so they had to bounce back into S&D. The Thieves got off to a strong start on the Skyline S&D. They had a quick replay in this match, but when they got back to it, FaZe started bringing the game back with a few clutch rounds. They were down 3-5 at one point, but managed to bring it to a round 11. It could have gone either way, but it led to a pretty anticlimactic finish, with Scrap and Ghosty winning the retake to take the game.
5 ways into this location. plant, and the 2 ARs of the Thieves now on the retake. Scrap strikes first, and oh my god, they literally fall into
LAT go up 2-0. I expected this game to be a 3-0 sweep, especially after LAT got off to this incredible start on the vault control. They won the first 2 rounds, but then it's like a switch flipped for FaZe, and they were like, we're not gonna go out that easy. And they won 3 straight rounds. The Tiny Terrors going crazy this game. Abizi went 37-32, and Simp went 36-31 to help FaZe secure the control, and they carried that momentum into one of the best hard points of the entire season. I mean, this was going back and forth the entire game, just coming down to a few pivotal gunfights on the rotation. As you can see, they were just going back and forth with a few lead changes throughout. LAT kept the lead throughout the middle of the game, but towards the end, Celium started heating up, catching a 5 spree, and FaZe just started breaking the last couple hills. But on the final hill of the map, I'm not even going to explain it. I'm just going to play the clip.
Makes no sense, but Celium, he's been a hero once. He's got to be a hero again. LA Thieves on the time, but that is the 4-man wipe. 243 to 210 in that moment.
Time ticking away for FaZe. Hydra's pinch. Will it work out? No, he's been spotted. Has he been dealt with? He's in.
What?
Just to get the
Off
kills.
time, it's Scrap with the nade, gets him off the time. You're still going to have to contest for at least 2 more to force the rotation. Atlanta FaZe can
The
still
game is
win
going
it
to keep
here.
going. No one's close. No nades. No nothing. Game 5. Atlanta FaZe. What a comeback.
Yeah, that was a pretty insane way to end the map 4. FaZe taking the lead at the very end. And LAT's coach Sender said that hardpoint we lost to FaZe was the first hardpoint loss we've had in 3 weeks. And it was truly an incredible game from both sides. Celium really stepped up in this game, and it could have gone either way. And in a very fitting way, we go to a game 5 on the Vault Search and Destroy, where the pace picked up a bit. LAT started off the map going up 3-0. Then FaZe bounced back, tying it 3-3. But it was back and forth after that. Ghosty and Envoy stepped up in this final map, and we're playing for the bomb plants, allowing for Scrap and Hydra to make plays for the team, and their roster is gelling really well. Picked apart FaZe at the end of the game to win the series and close out opening weekend. LAT are off to a 2-0 start, while FaZe start the weekend off 0-2. I did not see that one coming. It was a great series overall, but both teams showed resilience, and I can't wait to see some future matchups against them. Hydra has been leading this team well and said he wants OpTic next.
But you got plenty more to come. Anyone you're looking forward to playing here at the CDL before we let you go?
Yeah, OpTic, I need 2 wins. The 5-1 last chance still in my mind. I need OpTic.
GG Atlanta won 3-2. Great resilience out of the boys. Please stop snaking me, Celium. Others reacting saying the reports of Envoy's demise were greatly exaggerated. Never a doubt in my mind, Thieves are very good. They could definitely patch up a few areas, but they're gonna do great this year. Scrap not going positive, but the team's still getting a dub. Must be such a new feeling for him. FaZe battled back and showed resilience. They need to learn to not let the pressure get to them, because when they play loose, they win. So Scrap got another leg up on Draza, and the saga continues. We'll see if Draza can answer back in the future, but it was an interesting way to close out the opening weekend. Taking a look back on the weekend was some of the best performances. Shotzi stole the show, dropping a 1.43. We had other players like Real, Gwyn, the new rookie Kicks, and the other rookie Rencor popping up on the leaderboards. And we also got a look at the standing with the Royal Ravens being on top, along with Ultra, LA Thieves, and Rocker. It's weird seeing Atlanta FaZe at the bottom, but there's definitely some teams that are going to need to figure it out this season. Cloud9 and LAG Mates were 2 teams that I expected to play better. Some Carolina fans saying, hell yeah, brother. Ultra fans saying I was a little worried going into the season, but I'm feeling better now. You guys found good replacements for Scrap and Envoy. Ultra is a well-run org, and they will always be a contender. I think LA Thieves might be the strongest team so far. T-Dog said, not seeing a Breach dead last is making me emotional. Gonna be a good season. Mix-up of teams at the top is gonna be interesting for the season. This was one of the best ways we could have started the CDL season. A lot of closely contested series and competitive matches that just add to the storyline of the CDL. But the first weekend is in the books, and we're coming in for round 2 in just a few days, and I'll be back on the channel to cover it. Let me know what you thought about opening weekend down below, and I hope you all have a great week. Don't forget to sub to the channel for more Call of Duty videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, peace.